everyone, I'm Walker and welcome back to Olive Ave Nails, where we talk about vegan and cruelty-free nail polish. Today we're going to be doing another organizing my collection video. These are all of the Zoya green creams, and if you haven't seen any of these videos on my channel before, basically what I'm going to do is take all of these polishes and then divide them up into color groups, so like match up colors that are more similar to one another, and then I will be posting a video on my channel of each of those groups and doing color comparisons within that group so that you can kind of get a sense for each of the polishes. I like to do this video that is kind of the whole set of greens. That way you can see kind of why I put some colors together that may not be obvious if you just watch the individual videos. I will link the playlist that this is the start of up above in the cards and then also down below in the description box. Okay, let's dive in. Basically what I'm gonna do is put some music on in the background, speed it up, and you'll kind of see me holding polishes up and putting them into groups. So stay tuned. Okay, so I've kind of split these up into groups. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups, and I'm not sure that I love them. I feel pretty good about this group down here. These are kind of the like olivey, greeny, browny polishes, and these 4 look pretty good together. I did consider putting Ireland in my light greens, but it just has so much more of an olive tone, of a gray tone, so I am gonna leave it down here with these other 3. So I'm gonna keep these together. I feel pretty good about my light greens. These 3 are pretty light, they look right together, so I think I'm gonna keep these 3 together. And so when I get to this point where I have these groups that they kind of look right together, but I also just don't know that I love them. Like these 4 don't have a ton in common. These 2 do, and then these 2 just kind of feel like I shoved them in here because I have nowhere else to put them. So I split these 2 up separately because this is Josie and Ness, and they have a little bit more of like a white or blue undertone, whereas these guys have kind of a brighter yellow undertone. So that's why I split these out, but I'm just not sure if that's the right split because these 2 don't quite seem to fit in here. So I really think my swatch sticks will be really helpful here. Sometimes it's a little bit easier to see differences on the nail than in the bottle. For example, I think these all look really similar in the bottle. They're just like a really dark green, but I know for a fact that Hunter dries pretty differently on the nail. So I'm gonna pull my swatch sticks out. They might help me group these together a little bit more accurately. Okay, great. So I put out my swatch sticks and I felt like those were really helpful. So I actually moved Newt and Evie into groups of their own. So these are kind of these like super dark gray green polishes. They don't even look green on their own, honestly, but they definitely are green compared to some of my other grays. So those are going to be in a group all by themselves. And then I moved Sean down here because I realized on the nail, Sean actually looks just like a hair darker than Envy and Hunter. It's like they're getting a little bit darker, but they're kind of this similar like yellow toned green. So I put those 3 together, and then I'm putting Tilda and Jace together. They're this like super bright, you know, kind of grassy green, and then my bluey greens are down here, and so I feel really good about these groups. So now what I'm going to do is just show you each group individually, give you a little rationale about why they are together. Okay, so my first 2 are these 2 grassy greens. This is Tilda and Jace. These 2 are super close to each other. Jace is just like a little bit darker, so this will be my first group. All right, and then I have my next group. This is Lake, Tiana, and Neely, and these 3 are my lighter greens. Lake was also in a blues comparison that I did, but because it is just like so in between green and blue, I think it'll be really helpful to have it in this group with the greens as well. And then as I mentioned before, I have Evie and Newt, and these are kind of super dark gray leaning greens. So these ones are really dark, but they're not like a forest green. They're like a gray leaning green, and so they're really close to each other. Newt is just about a hair darker, but they both have a lot of green in them. So I will be comparing these two together to some other grays in my collection and to some dark greens in my collection. All right, and then we have Josie, Ness, and Wyatt, which are three kind of blue leaning greens. You can see compared to Tilda up here in the corner that they have a really different undertone. They definitely have more blue in them. And so I'll be comparing these three to each other. I'll compare them to some greens, and I'll also compare them to some of the kind of turquoise bluey greens that Zoya has. And then these three are Envy, Hunter, and Sean, and these are three kind of deeper, darker greens that Zoya has, and so I will be comparing these three to each other and to some of the other groups that I've added here. All right, and then one of my favorite green categories, this is this kind of olivey, brown leaning greens, and these are Arbor, Dree, Ireland, and Charlie. I have considered adding Misty to this group, but I think it's just too gray. So here's Misty. It just doesn't quite fit. It's a little bit green, but it's not green enough, I don't think. I think this would be better to compare to grays. We'll learn more about it. So I'm not gonna add it to this group. I'll probably bring it in as a comparison, but these four will be compared. This is one of my favorite categories of green. I absolutely love this category. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Maybe you learned something about some of Zoya's greens. Definitely consider subscribing so that you don't miss the zoom in comparison videos of each of these groups of polishes as they go up over the next couple of weeks. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed hanging out with me and chatting about nail polish. Let me know down below which group you're most excited to see up close. I love green nail polish, and I hope that you do too. Awesome. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye!